D-Lo for boxing. All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to get this out without getting interrupted. Hopefully I can get that done. But yeah, I want to speak to y'all about this situation with Terrence Crawford reaching out to Chico Lopez at the WBC convention, asking him to speak on his behalf in regards to trying to put himself in a position to become the WBC mandatory, or to basically get the WBC to mandate or to order a fight between him and Errol Spence Jr. Let me just say this. You know, there's always perspective when it comes to anything. Vantage points, viewpoints, perception, whatever. If four people look at the same thing, you may get four different conclusions of what they see. You know, that's just the way it is. But I want to say this about those people who are saying that this was a publicity stunt by Terrence Crawford because he had his fight coming up with Sean Porter, and he really don't want to fight. He's just trying to play games and trying to, like he's playing Three Top Molly or something. Let me say, Three Top Money, excuse me. Let me say this. The WBC convention, and when it happens, is not within Terrence Crawford's control. He has no control over the fact that convention happened around the same time his fight is getting ready to happen. Chico Lopez is not some representative of Team Crawford that he set up there. Chico Lopez is a WBC official, and he just happens to be friends with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford bought some dogs from him, or a dog, or however it is, and they formed a friendship. And, many of the people speaking out on this and actually saying that he sent Chico Lopez up there, they know this. They know who Chico Lopez is. They've interacted with Chico Lopez. So it's just strange to me that, people don't mind spinning a narrative that suits their argument in a given situation. As for Terrence Crawford being in a position to force a mandatory, he does meet some criteria. Terrence Crawford was an undisputed champion at 140. He was a WBC champion. And right now he's WBO champion, and he's not in anybody's rankings because of that. But at the same time, there's already been precedents of this happening. There have been champions from other sanctioning bodies being given the opportunity to fight for vacant WBC titles. Most notably, you can look at Canelo and Callum Smith. They fought for a vacant WBO title in their WBA title fight. You had Lomachenko when he fought Corolla, or Corolla, however you say it. They fought for a vacant WBC title at one, if I'm not mistaken. If it wasn't a Corolla fight, it was one before that. And Lomachenko already had, I think he had two of the other belts. So, those are two examples. But then you had the WBC ordered, Adonis Stevenson, who was their champion, to face Sergey Kovalev, who was at the time, I know he was the WBO champion, coincidentally, and I think he was maybe the IBF champion or something. I can't remember what other belt he held, but I want to say Kovalev had two belts at the time. And then also, most notably, if you guys remember, the WBC tried to force Canelo to fight Triple G. He was their champion, and they mandated him to fight Triple G, and he vacated the belt. Remember? Triple G was a champion. He was the WBA, long reigning WBA champion, and I think he might have had another title at that time as well. But they tried to force Canelo to fight Triple G, and Canelo vacated the title, and that's when the rift between Canelo and the WBC happened. And ever since then, the WBC has been kissing Canelo's behind, trying to get in his good graces. And I'm saying all that to say this. I'm hearing people talk like, because of Mauricio's response, that's just impossible and undoable for them to mandate their champion to fight another champion. I just gave examples of when it's happened, how it's happened, what the results were. And coincidentally, this situation doesn't have to come to this. These guys can fight, you know what I'm saying? And quite honestly, I'm saying, I understand why Terrence Crawford did it. Sean Porter don't have to do that, because we know if Sean Porter beats Terrence Crawford, there's not going to be a lot of resistance to him and Errol Spence being able to make a fight together. But should Terrence Crawford win, he may not be able to get that Errol Spence Jr. fight anytime soon. I, for one, didn't want to see Errol Spence Jr. jump right back into the fire after this eye injury. But he and his team are saying they want to fight the best fighters. They want championships. He's saying, that's not for him to fight a soft touch. So I feel like, and I've said this before, they're going to find out in camp whether Errol Spence can go. And if he can go, and that's the fight, those are the type fights he wants, then that's what he should go for. So for me, if Errol Spence Jr. and his team are ready for the top and they can't get the Ugas fight, which looks like it's not going to happen because Ugas is tied up in all this nonsense with the WBA, and he wants a title fight, a unification bout, then the only person that would be left is the champion of the WBC, whomever that shall be, between Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter. I'm not of the belief that this is some publicity stunt by Terrence Crawford. Like I said, Terrence Crawford has no control over when the WBC convention falls, and if he wants to be represented and wants someone to speak on his behalf, that's the best time to try to get the WBC to make a decision on something. The issue is that with Mauricio's response about the promoter is somebody has to pay that PAT money. And that's why Mauricio looking crazy like, I hear you, but somebody got to put some money in my pocket if they want this fight to happen, if they want me to do this, sanction this bout or mandate this bout. And that's why it has to come from the promoter, which is really, kind of crazy, to be honest, because the promoter's not going to fight. If you mandate the fight, somebody's going to promote it. You know what I'm saying? If you order that fight, somebody is going to pick it up and promote the fight. That's not even the issue. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of everything being worked out logistically. But at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford actually going this route could put himself at a detriment, because what could happen if they ordered a bout and Errol Spence Jr. and he failed to reach a agreement on the split, then Terrence Crawford could end up only getting a mandatory split, which could be less than what he could possibly get in negotiation. So it just remains to be seen. But ultimately, I think as a fan, this is a fight we want to see. And I think that however we get there, as fans, we're going to be glad when we get there. And lastly, I just want to say, I don't believe all of y'all, I don't think all of y'all want to see this fight. And I'm talking about some of you that come out and talk about this fight every other day, or talk about Terrence Crawford's fights and Errol Spence Jr. fights and them fighting each other. All of y'all don't want to see that fight. I'm sorry. A lot of y'all don't want to see that fight for whatever reason. It's some who don't believe they're fans of Crawford and they don't think he's going to fare well, so they don't really want to see that fight. They want to talk about it. They want to talk as if they want it, but they don't really want to see that fight. You got fans of Errol Spence for the same reason. They talk about it. They act like they want to see it. They don't want to see that fight. They'd rather stand on the side of arguing that their guy is the better fighter and that he's the better draw, or that he's accomplished more and all of this, rather than have the dispute settled in the ring. But that's all I got on it. D-Lo 404 Boxing. Like, share, comment, subscribe. My peace.